Okay. Here, break and continue statements are also a good statements. Okay, you used them extensively in your computer lab. Okay, break and continue statement. They are the group of the statements utilized for the purpose of doing some tasks to control the statements. The break statement ends the loop immediately when it is encountered. Syntax is break with semicolon, because whenever it is having a semicolon, the statement should end. Okay, break is a statement. Break, in fact, is a statement. It is also a keyword used to end the statement. The break statement is almost always used with if else statement inside the loop. Whenever we are using if else loop, okay, we have to use the break statement. How it works, we'll see. While test expression, we have to give the expression within this bracket, open parenthesis, open the curly brackets, give the condition while if condition to break, then give the break, it stops for a while, checks the condition, and then gives the output. If it does not satisfy, it will come out of the loop. Or parallelly, you can do like this, do the statement. Within the if, give the condition to break. For example, do the task. If a person scores more than 70%, break, check all papers are passed, give distinction. If a candidate scores minimum 40%, give break, testing condition, all papers are passed, give the result declared as pass for all, instead of giving the distinction or first class of that kind. Within for loop also you can do that. For this is the initialization, testing the condition, maybe increment or decrement, they can call it as an update. Within that, it checks the condition as a break and then give the break here, it stops for a while, checking this condition. If this condition is satisfied, it comes out of the loop. If not, directly it comes out of the loop. Break statement, how it works. For example, program to calculate the sum of numbers. For example, total of numbers, 10 numbers maximum you want. Okay, we can give 3 numbers, 5 numbers, 10 numbers. If the user enters a negative number, loop has to terminate. This is the condition. Include district data what attached, fine. Integer you are declaring as the main. You can use the same way. You are declaring I as the integer, double as the sum and the number. If someone gives the 0, it has to come out of the loop. Starts with the sum from 0. Starts the initial value for I as 1 until the test continues with the loop. The I reaches the value, I crosses the value 10. I is less than or equal to 10, it continues. Means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, up to 10 it can go. If it crosses, if I becomes 11, if the condition will not valid, it has to come out of the for loop. It goes with the increment. Printf, what it prints up? It takes the value from the integer from the keyboard. If the user enters a negative number, break the loop. For example, if number is less than 0.0, means any value less need not be negative. If the number is less than 0, it should be, it has to break. If the number entered is more than 0, it will go for the sum. Sum is equal to sum plus number, or sum is, this is nothing but sum is equal to sum plus number, then it adds on all the numbers put together. For example, if the number is 2.4, it adds up. 4.5, it adds up. 3.4 adds up. If it is -3, it will come out of the loop, but takes the sum of all the 4. 10.3, what you are expecting. 3 plus 4 plus 2 and rest of them actually. Okay, this program calculates the sum of the maximum numbers up to 10. If it crosses the 10, why a maximum of 10 numbers? It is because if the user enters a negative number, the break statement is executed. If without that, if you are going adding the number, once it reaches the 10, it comes out of the loop. That is the break statement. It breaks up to that extent. Up to what extent? For example, go on adding the numbers from for at every time 1, take the addition of the numbers only for 10 steps. If it is 11th step, you can stop. Instead of 10 steps, you can say that 1000 times I can repeat. If it is 1001 time, you can come out of the loop like that. Similarly, break is also used with the switch statement. Switch statement. Continue, what will happen? Continue is another statement. Do while, do continue, if while do. How that works actually? Okay, continuation, even whether you can give the continue or not, it will continue till the completion of the loop. Okay, while text expression, fine. Instead of break, it just say the continue. It continues till it executes all, it tests all the conditions and comes out of the loop. First it does the job and it continues till it executes the while condition, then comes out of the loop. Continue and break are parallel words to support all kind of loops. Even in for loop also you can use. At the place of break, you can use the continue, or at the termination of every a systematic way of steps, you can use the continue to complete the loops to a great extent. See, for example, here, calculate the sum of the same numbers you can use, where they are using a continue of if the number is less than 0, it will come out of the loop. If it is not less than 0, continue the program till it executes the condition from I is equal to 1 to I is equal to 10. This is the meaning out of that. See that 1, 1.5, 2.5. Somewhere they gave the negative 3.4. Still it is taking minus 5 as the sum number. Okay. Once it executes negative number, because there is no break for the negative number. Once it executes 10 steps, when n is greater than or equal to 10, it is coming out of the loop. With the sum of the numbers, summation of all those things put together as about some 59.70 or whatever the number. Okay. Similar to that, similar to the loop, switch statement can also be used to switch between the cases, switch between the statements, switch between the items, switch between the criteria. How it works, we'll see that. This is a last loop. Last in the sense, in the loop case, for a loop case, for loop, do while loop, switch is the last one. Okay, need not be of the order. You can use any of those things. Okay, switch expression, you can say that case 1, for example, constant, you type the enter. All switch statements should have one case ended by colon, not semicolon. Switch should not have an end by semicolon, and statements must end with semicolon. There should be a break for case 1 with semicolon. If this case gets executed, then there will be a break. There is no choice for the switch to execute the case 2. If the case 1 gets validated, it switches to the case 2. For example, if you open the main door, enter the classroom. Okay. If we once enter the classroom, then go for listening to the class. If the main door is closed, no chance for you to enter into the case. For example, even if you enter to the main door, and if office fellow will come and open the office, then only they can open the classroom. If for all those things, either for the case 1 or maybe case 2, once any of the cases executes, the break operation will take for that case and it will come out of the loop. If not, as a default, there should be a one case. Default statement means if the gate is not open, okay, no class for today. If the gate is open and classroom gate is open, but no office fellow came, then class is closed today. If gate is open, no opening of the classroom, then no class for today. Okay, like that. Otherwise, default statement means you check the number of papers, for example, all 5 theory papers. If you score more than 40, okay. If it is more than 40, go to the next paper. If it is second paper is more than 40, go to the third paper. If the fifth paper is more than 40, go and add all of them, take the average, declare the percentage, pass percentage, whichever way the class is having. If any one of the paper is less than 40, break the statement. The default is the candidate has not scored minimum marks stipulated by the university, and default is reappear for the next consecutive exams. It should not be a good example, but still I am giving. How does the switch works actually? It is almost like a switch what you are using for an electrical switch. Okay, it is only on and off stage, or there should be a continuity between the two. If there is a match, the corresponding statement after the matching label are executed. For example, if the values for the expression is equal to a constant, statements after the case constant 2 are executed and until break is encountered. If there is no match, it will come out of the loop with the execution of the break. Switch flow chart is like this. Single expression, whether equal to yes, go for the block one. Okay. If not, go for the 2, execute the second code. If not, first 2 are invalid, checks for the third condition, executes the third one. Any of these 3 are valid, fine, it comes out as a default. If none of them are executed, it comes directly as a default code. If any of the 3, if it is executed, fine, this will be the output. If the second one is executed, second one will be the output. By checking those 2 conditions, like that it has to work. Okay, simple. For example, simple calculator, how they can do that. For example, character as an operation, double as an N1 and N2, enter an operation like plus, minus, multiplication and division. Okay, choose the 2 variables, enter all of them put together. Okay, either you add the number, divide the number, subtract the number, or multiply the number, you'll get the output. Either the case. Take 2 variables, A value and B value, first addition, maybe multiplication, subtraction, division, all of them can be done by making use of the switch statement. This is one case. One case, what you expect actually. What you expect. Go to statement is also of the same kind. Okay. Instead of continue, you can use the go to statement. More or less same. Go to statement and the continue, they are only the same thing. Continue will continue from the beginning. Go to you can use from where you want to go back and start. Go back and not stop, go back and repeat. For example, I will go with the example here. Go to the label, it goes to particular label and executes the statement. What happens here? See that in this example, this one number, constant value is assigned with 100, integer is an I. Okay. For loop we are using. Go to the jump if the user enters a negative number. If number is less than 0, go to jump. Where is jump actually? Jump. Here, go to jump if the user enters a negative number. Jump in the sense here, go to jump here. Here is there something here, should be there. 1 second. Yeah, here, sorry. I could not able to locate. If the number entered is negative, where jump is somewhere here, jump it will come, it will stop and takes the average, whatever with the value it is getting like that. You can assign to that. This is one kind of a condition actually. Okay. Okay. Then should we use the go to find? See control flow examples is not required. Okay. I used this information taken from this website. Thanks for that. Maybe an unknown person actually. But whatever 40-page content it is there, it goes with the same case. I thought of showing them directly through the website, but if not, also you can use it. Simply I will click on that. Or you can use the information from any of the sites or any of the textbooks, doesn't matter. See that starts from interactive C courses they can call. Here. Keywords and identifier. The same thing they have written here. I took this information from here actually to make you simple and to make you comfortable with the text actually. Okay. I'll go through the rest of the part, doesn't matter. After this, there is only 2 topics for you: algorithms, flow charts, and some programs. Okay. Algorithm is a step-by-step procedure which is helpful in solving the problems. Okay. Algorithm need not be restricted to the programming. Algorithm is nothing but a step-by-step procedure. For example, if you want to have any plan for a program, maybe any cultural program or maybe welcome party, or maybe send off, or any kind of an event, or any task. It should be organized in a way, step by step. What I have to do as a first step? What should be the second step? What should be the third step? If I am unable to satisfy the second step, what I have to do in the third step? Shall I go back to the first step and repeat, or shall I quit, or shall I stop, or shall I approach something else? Okay. If it is written in English like sentences, then it is called the pseudo code. It is a virtual code of that kind. Properties of an algorithm are basically with some 5 properties. We have to give the input, we have to fetch the input from somewhere else, take the input, and we have to work out with the output. While after getting the input, we have to check whether that will have the finiteness, but that can we have the definiteness, then can we use it as an effectiveness of that kind. How it goes, we'll check. Algorithms for finding, for example, if I am asked to find the average of the 3 numbers, a simple way. I should first start. This is a first step. You can call it as a step 1, doesn't matter. First step, I will go with the number. Okay. Or instead of simply, I'll go with these steps as the numbers instead of giving them as something like that. Okay. First step, step 1 is to start. Fine. How to start? After starting, I have to read the numbers. Which are the 3 numbers? Like you can call the variable A, B, C, or X, Y, Z. You can call whatever the number, whatever the variable you want. You have to fetch that number, means through keyboard you have to give. You can use the scanf function to get or to fetch those numbers. What are those numbers? A, some number is assigned to A, another number is assigned to, second number is assigned to B, third number is assigned to the C of that kind. If you are adding them, all of them together and storing them in a variable called the sum. Sum is a variable, again it is an integer. If you are adding all those things variables or the numbers stored in the variables, you'll get the sum. Then what you have to do? After that, you have to compute maybe the average. Average is nothing but sum of all the numbers and the total number of the variables. Here there are only 3 variables. Then you can use sum by 3, automatically do. It prints the average value or it stores the average value in sum and it displays it on the screen and then it ends by displaying. This is a step. This is the algorithm. How they can write the program, that we'll see later. Flow charts, for the same thing, there should be a flow chart or charts which can flow from beginning till the end. Actually, in C and all other languages, they will use the flow charts for better understanding. There is a standard way of doing that. There is a known way of doing that, like SI units, how you are using the symbols for known quantities, physical quantities like either mass or maybe volume or maybe a length. Okay, here also the same case in the computer long programming languages. This is the diagram's representation of an algorithm, which is called as a flow chart. Always flow chart goes from one to the other through an arrow. Arrow means you can start and then take a right way or left way or bottom way or upward way. How that flow has to go. Symbols, it is well defined, well explained actually. This is the symbol used for terminal. You can call, you can call. This is a vowel symbol. This is a vowel symbol I wrote here just for you to remember. It is used to start the program or stop the program or to begin the program or end the program. All of them are the same. If you use it as a start, at the end you can stop. Or if you use it as a start and stop, begin and end. Don't start and go with end. Don't stop, don't go with begin and stop of that kind. Begin and stop is not used. Start and stop is it's a what you can call coupled words joined together. Begin and end should go together. Any input values should be fetched through the parallelogram, or if you write a parallelogram within that, for example, if I want to add 3 numbers, you can fetch the numbers input A, comma B, comma C. Okay? It reads the values. At the end, the output can also be used with the same symbol. For example, sum equals what? Print the sum, for example, or fetch the input within this A, B, C as an input through parallelogram and output as a sum. While doing the execution processes, you have to use the rectangle. Okay, performance, what any processing to be performed can be represented using a rectangle. While taking the decisions like if loop, for loop, or any kind of do loop, do while loop, use the symbol diamond. Any decision making, decision operation that determines which of the alternative path to be followed. For example, if you are entering from the top, if it is yes, go ahead. If it is no, you terminate. If it is yes, maybe continue. If it is yes, continue of that kind actually. Okay. If it is yes, continue. If it is no, do it something like that. After completion of the rest of the part, come back to the decision and complete all the tasks. Okay. Circle is used to connect all the variables put together, used to connect the different parts of the flow charts. Okay, one to the other. You can connect wherever you want through the connector. Without connecting, also you can use only the arrows, either left arrow, left to right, right arrow, left arrow, up arrow, down arrow. The right arrow means it moves from left to the left. The task has to go towards right, task has to come towards left. Task means it is you are coming back to the original position in the initial path. You are going forward. Okay. This is a simple double-sided rectangle that can use it for the modulus or subroutines with the predefined functions. Okay. Then page connector, you can connect pentagon, you can use it to connect between the flowcharts in two different pages. If you want to connect from one page to another, we have reached already the end of the page. You don't go as a PTO, page turnover, or next page, further page, or go to some extent. If you use this symbol, page connector, it says that you go to the next page. If you are unable to complete the programming in one single page, you have to use this. Okay, you have to use this. Then for loop with the hexagon, how that initialization can be done. Initialization and then test condition, then maybe incrementation of the loop, either increment or decrement for the for loop. Okay. The last one, this is the example. Last one is the statement with the document printout. Okay, don't get confusion with this and the earlier one, what I am showing here as a paragraph. This is for the output. If you want to print the document, okay, print the document, you have to use this symbol as the printout symbol. This is shows the data that is ready for the printout. How that these symbols are well used. There are about 8 to 10 actually, kindly remember. This is the last slide right now. By making use of the same thing, I will go up, start, fine, go to the arrow, read the numbers. Even without read also, if you say that read numbers, fine. Read A, B, C is fine. It reads the number. Compute the sum. How what to do? It adds up the formula I have given A plus B plus C. See the arrow here. This is a reverse way of assigning the numbers in C programming or any of the programming in such a way. Sum is equal to ABC is not of that kind. After adding all the numbers which are stored in the variable, those number is stored or will be stored in sum. This will go towards left only. Means LHS will never be equal to RHS. Here, what I want to say is that in mathematics, you are saying that so many variables may be equal to something, or X may be equal to A plus B plus C if you are putting, fine. But here, what happens? Arrow will be towards left. All the variables will be added together and stored in sum. Okay. Then compute the average. Again, this is the do task. Do task as the rectangle. Then it prints the average value in a parallelogram. This and this, they are one the same thing. Then you can ask for the stop. Good. I took much of your time. Being this last, I have not done this to a great extent. Okay, maybe there are some way of okay, 8 programs, 7 programs that are listed in your syllabus. These programs you might have worked out in your computer lab, more or less, or still you try actually. Okay, finding area of a triangle. Start with the simple include std.ioh, then include library functions, then integer main within the bracket, open the parenthesis, declare the variables. After declaration, you go for doing this task. You know the formula for maybe a triangle, maybe for a circle, maybe for something else. You try to estimate. Printf and scanf functions use extensively. Printf for the output. You want to give the instruction for you. And scanf is the function used for getting the information from the keyboard, okay, or taking the initial values, input values from the keyboard, and use the printf statement at the end actually. Check for vowel or consonant using the switch case. Computing sum and average, simple program. Working for the Fibonacci series, might be using while loop. Sorting the numbers either in arranging increasing order or decreasing order. Estimating the factorial of a number. Adding the two matrices using an arrays, provided that while adding number of rows and columns should have m cross n and n cross m should match. Okay, if it is a rectangular matrix, no issue. If it is a square matrix, no issue. If it is a rectangular matrix, a matrix A may be an m cross n and matrix B must be n cross m. The number of rows of first matrix should match with the number of columns of the second matrix. Then only you can add. Or number of columns of the first matrix should match with the number of rows of the second matrix. These are the examples, exercises I am giving to you. You work it out or directly take it from any of the book or work from your lab, work in the lab actually. If this is the case, this completes the basic understanding of C programming. I thought of doing very well in the beginning. Somehow it got shifted. It's not postponed, it got shifted actually. Kindly be prepared. Sorry, my sincere apology for today. Actually, it disturbed while doing 2-3 times actually because of unexpected incidences. It should not happen. Tomorrow morning by 10 o'clock, I will take regular class. If there are any doubts, I am happy to respond. So right now, I'll stop recording. I'll be available.